Ladies and gentlemen, I am Tony Chimmel, and welcome to Road Trip After Hours. Please welcome your hosts, Mac Davis and WWE Hall of Famer, Teddy Long. Holler! Holla,
player. Welcome to Road Trip After Hours. I'm your host, Mac Davis, and along with me is my co-host, WWE Hall of Famer, Holla Holla, Teddy Long. Hey, Teddy.
Hey, what's going on, Mac? I just want to let everybody know we could have started this show 30 minutes ago, but you've got about 25 bloopers that we need to look at. So we're going to save the bloopers and put a big package together and show everybody one day.
Yeah, you know, I don't, for whatever reason, every time we start this show, it's just the intro. I stumble on the intro. Once I get going, I'm okay. But that first intro, you know.
It's our good medication.
Oh, man, isn't it, though? Hey, let's talk about somebody talking about medication and hope that they're getting better and everything else. Jerry Lawler. He had a stroke, and Teddy, I know you know Jerry well and has been a friend of yours. So have you heard anything, updates on Jerry?
I seen something on social media that he was, doing a lot better, and they were maybe kind of expecting him to pull through this and be okay. But I hadn't seen a whole lot. But Jerry is, like I said, this isn't the first time he's been in this predicament. Oh, no. He's been pretty strong, and he pulled through, and I think he'll pull through this one too.
Other things that were taking place in the news since you and I were here last time, that damn Chinese spy balloon that was floating around everywhere, or that was one of the most ridiculous things that I think it had to have taken over the news in every single aspect, whether it's sports or just world news, entertainment, whatever. That damn spy balloon was the biggest thing over last week's news. What were your thoughts when you saw all that unfolding last week, Teddy?
Well, I take stuff like that pretty serious. Yeah. And the reason I take that pretty serious is because if these guys, the Chinese people got the nerve to, just spin a balloon right over us and don't have no regard of, what maybe the U.S. is going to do, that's pretty bold. And for them to do that, that lets me know. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a scientist or none of that, but I could see them doing nothing else but trying to get information or spying on us some kind of way. So that's kind of dangerous. And I'm just glad that they hurry up and shot it down. And I do understand the reason they didn't shoot it down at the beginning because, like they said, they could have shot it down and then it could have killed some Americans, could have, hurt some of our people. So I don't blame them for not wanting to take the risk, because they know more about it than me. But it's down now, and finally, we're going to find out exactly the reason why it was floating around in the sky. But like I said, it wasn't floating around for no good.
And normally we don't talk about stuff like this, and I don't mind talking about it. But, it was one of those things where when I saw it, the security for our safety as Americans, for me, seemed to lessen quite a bit when that balloon was floating around, because the truth of the matter is that balloon could have been carrying anything. Well, like you say, we don't even know what was on that balloon, but it could have been carrying something that could have, hurt people down below, whether we shot it down or not. And the fact that it got, that far into where we had to go and finally bring it down, I would think that we should have known about it long before it got into our airspace.
Well, I kind of agree with you there too, but I also understand this too. A lot of times I think, they rather not say some things so they don't panic the people.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people, they're going to take that a different way, where I take it as like, well, damn, let me see what the hell's going on. When somebody else may panic, oh my God, they're finna blow us up. There's a bomb in there, So I think maybe to try to keep the panic down and to make sure that when they do talk to the American people that they got the right stuff to tell them, where there's no lies about it. And, and like I said, and keep us out of harm's way.
Oh, yeah. Teddy, I want to talk to you about something. I've been meaning to do this ever since we started this show, really. And I've often told you I wanted to talk about a little bit about your earlier days, and part of that being your childhood growing up. I really don't know much about your childhood. Did you grow up in Georgia, or were you born in Alabama? Is that what I read somewhere?
No, I was born in Birmingham, Alabama. I grew up in Birmingham, Alabama. I went to elementary school there in Birmingham was called Lincoln Elementary. There's another one there, I think W.C. Davis. That was an elementary school that I went to.
How many kids were in your family? Were you one of the only children, or?
I was, well, my mother and my father, they deceased when I was, a real young age. So
I'm sorry.
I ended up living with my grandmother. So my grandmother was the one that, was kind of raising me there. So I was kind of the only kid there. I was there with my uncle, who was maybe 5 years older, maybe 10 years older than me or something like that. I'm not sure. But I was there with my uncle and my aunt. So I lived with them. I drove there with them in Birmingham. And while I was in Birmingham there, like I said, I went to Parker High School. And I also started to DJing in Birmingham, Alabama. I was at a radio station at WJLD. There was another station there, WENN. And I started disc jockeying there. When I was a real young kid, I'd go down and they'd give me like 10 or 15 minutes on the air. And I'd do that. And then I used to just hang around at the radio station. There was another control room in the back where I had the turntables and all that stuff, and I could go in there and just act like I was on the radio and didn't even have to be on live, but I just loved practicing. So that's where I got a chance to meet James Brown during my radio career. I had a chance to work for James Brown for a little bit. He had a TV show called Future Shock. It was a show like Soul Train. And I was a music director there for James Brown. And after I started, and that's how I really found out about wrestling. James Brown used to tape the TV show of his at the TBS studios. And I was down there with the taping working with James Brown. And then that's when they started bringing the NWA and Jim Crockett promotion. And they started filming NWA there in the Turner Broadcasting Studios. And that's how I ended up getting involved with wrestling.
It's funny because one of the things that you and I have talked about before is that we are similar in our backgrounds, and that we both have radio backgrounds, radio being the place. I was a kid, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about, was when you were younger, were you an outgoing child, or were you fairly quiet? Because, people today who I went to school with in high school and growing up would never guess that I'd be talking on a microphone, be in front of a camera, doing whatever I may do, because I was terrified of speaking in front of anyone as a child.
No, I wasn't never terrified. I guess I've always had this gift. But when I was a kid, I was pretty much a bad kid because I came from a broken home. I was never with my mother, my father. And my grandmother, she was real mean. So I just couldn't hardly take her much. So I ended up running away from there. But I was at a young age. So I got involved in the street life at a very young age. So I was out hustling, stealing, doing whatever I had to do, to make money.
And so, how young were you when you had this? When you were actually hitting the streets hard like that?
I guess I was about 18, 19 years old.
Wow.
When I got in the street, but ended up, getting in the game, the hustling game. I had, girls and stuff, and then I was out, doing stuff too. So that's how Birmingham was a little bit slow, I guess. And that's how I ended up leaving Birmingham, and I moved to Atlanta. And I was doing the same thing in Atlanta when I first moved, and I was hustling and doing the same thing. Then I got involved with drugs and alcohol, and I got involved with the drugs real bad. So I ended up going to jail and, doing that, then getting in and out of jail. And finally, I, come to my senses and, and ask God, to, take me away from all this. And so I made up my mind to leave the drugs alone and all that. And like I said, God came in and helped me. And so I've been straight ever since.
And I've been wanting to ask you that, because as many times as we've either been in a car or wherever we may be, I've never really talked too much about your how you grew up and everything. I've had ideas based on just, bits of information you would tell me. And so a lot of it to me is just, again, it reinforces to me just, how many hurdles in which you had to go through, no matter where it was in your life, to get where you are today. And it proves that it doesn't matter who you are, what you do. If you put your mind to what you want to do, you can get it done, because there's proof right in front of you right now.
Yeah.
Teddy,
yes. And let me say this, I'll add a little bit to that. Like I said, I'm living proof, brother, that if it can happen for me, it can happen for anybody. And so, like I said, I got Rufus here, and he wants to make noise here, so I got to take his toy from him.
That's the toy that I always hear in the background, huh?
Yeah, so he's going to make noise with this toy here, so we took it. But like I said, from what I came from, man, I just if it can happen for me, it can happen for everybody. So that's all I can tell you. Just make up your mind. 'Cause it's real simple. You talk about drugs. Nobody can make you do anything. If you got a pile of cocaine in your hand, and if you don't put it in your nose, it never get there. So you can't blame nobody for what you do, and nobody but yourself. So you have to get ready to make up your own mind, get in touch with your life, and say, hey, I want to live. I'm tired of being an idiot, and I want to do the right thing to keep on living. And that's been my motto, man. And so, that's all I
truth. It's 100% truth.
Yeah.
All right, Teddy, I want to bring up something we've been talking about giveaways here on the show. This week is the very first week where you have an opportunity to win a prize. We'll tell you about the prize and everything else just in a little bit, but I do want to let you know that in order to win, you must be a subscriber. So if you haven't subscribed, go right down here, hit the subscription button, subscribe, then the way to enter to win, and I'm going to try to cover this up the best I can so I don't give anything away here. Let's see. A $100 gift card to the winner. Now, this is how you win. You simply go down below. First, you got to be a subscriber. Go down below, say subscribed and shared. So let us know you subscribed. We'll look you up in the subscriptions. Let us know you shared, and then you'll be in the drawing. All those names will go into a drawing. We'll draw one out next week. Who wins the $100 gift card? All right.
Wow, that's outstanding, man. They had a good point. I mean, everybody needs some extra cash now because the way, the economy is doing good. But there's a lot of other things of high prices in the grocery stores and stuff, man. Even Walmart ain't cheap no more. I used to think going to Walmart, I was saving money. Now,
let me ask you something, Ted. We ain't got to the questions yet. Well, God, we're going to run long today. That's okay. What the hell happened with chickens and their eggs? Why is it so damn expensive for an egg?
Well, I guess the chickens, especially the female chickens, I guess they felt like they could go up on their price,
Man, somebody's got to demand. I better not touch that. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Ask Teddy next.
For when common sense just isn't your thing. Contact Ed's Insurance and Plumbing Service.
I tell you, look at a map. But no, you say, I know the way. I am a man. Well, we've been flying for hours, and I still don't see a Chinese takeout.
Mac Davis and WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long and Sergeant Rufus, who just went over his shoulder in the background. Teddy, it's time for Ask Teddy. Are you ready?
I'm ready, Freddie.
Ready, Teddy!
Letters, oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day. Mailman, mailman, mail today. Reach right in and pull one out. Those letters, I love those letters. Let's find out what you got to say.
Oh boy!
Mailman, mail today.
Here we go. Question number 1. Tamara in Kansas writes, recently, AEW star Ricky Starks visited Cody Rhodes backstage at a WWE event. Is it frowned upon to visit backstage at a competitor's event?
Well, it used to be back in the day, you know what I mean? They kind of frowned on that. They didn't want you doing that. But I mean, times have changed now. I mean, the guy could just simply been a visitor. Hey,
Yeah.
WWE is in the area. Let me just go by and say hello to my good friend Cody. So, I mean, I think that's probably all that was. I don't think there's nothing to it. He ain't there trying to get no job or nothing. He just went to visit his friend.
Yeah, and he wasn't on camera, so
Right.
he's backstage. He's not on camera. So,
Right.
all right, Bo in Colorado writes, "You knew Randy Savage, not the Macho Man, but Randy Savage. What was he like?"
Oh, just an outstanding guy, great guy. Had a temper. I mean, he'd fight in a heartbeat. So, but and this was before he was the Macho Man. He had, I can't remember. I think it was about a 1970 Ford or Chevrolet van. It was an old van that Randy had, but he drove that thing all over Georgia because at that time we was working for the NWA,
Yep.
and all the boys were living out in Hateville, that hotel out there. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, Savage, great guy, but he had a temper.
Woo. Let's see. Kip in Indiana says, I remember this question now. You have a wallet with your life savings inside. Everything that you love in life is in this wallet. Who do you hand it to in the back while you go out on live TV?
JBL.
I knew that would be your answer. And there wouldn't be many people. If JBL wasn't there, Teddy would have a hard time probably trying to find 2 or 3 other people that he would trust with that. Would that be right?
Well, no, would I? If JBL, Ron Simmons would be another person I would do, and then if they weren't there, I'd go up and kindly ask Undertaker to hold on to it for me.
Yep.
And I believe he would
happen there.
I believe me and him. We've been that close. I managed Mark when he was me, Mark Callis, before he ever was the Undertaker. And I had a chance to talk to him at Raw 30th and, congratulated him on the Hall of Fame. And I told him, hey, thank you for letting me be a part of your journey. And he said back to me, well, we couldn't have did it without you. And so that means a lot. So,
yeah,
Taker would be another person that I feel like I could go to.
And the funny thing is that you can tell that whoever asked that question, you obviously have worked in the business enough that you know that, because there are times in independence, many times there weren't many people I'd hand my wallet to while I went out front, because you just don't know the guys that you're with in the back, in the independence especially. But
right.
So you're careful. But so I can tell somebody's worked in the business asked that question. Let's see, Uncle Usi and Willa Hoochie wants to know who pays for the hotels, cars, planes, food, etc. You or WWE?
Well, it's according to if you're just going there just to do one segment, going to do one TV show, and you're in and out. WWE pays for your hotel. They'll get your car service. Rufus, will you stop it? Okay, WWE will pay for the hotel, the rental. Not rental car. Unless you want to get a rental car, they'll get it for you. But not, they got a car service for you, and they take it to a hotel. But if you're there full time and you're working on a contract, okay, then you have to pay for your own stuff. But it's according to what kind of deal you got. If you got a deal where they take care of everything, then it's all different.
It all depends on the contract itself. So but
right.
More times than not, though, you have to back out. No matter what they're paying you, if you're getting like a talent contract, more than likely you're paying for your own flights, and not their flights, but for your rental cars and stuff. And then
they'll fly you. They'll pay for everybody's flight. You know what I mean? They'll fly you from point A to point B, but you take care of your hotel and your rental car.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Tom in Georgia wants to know, at WCW Halloween Havoc 92, you were acting like a reporter getting a scoop from the Japanese dignitaries. Why? And I looked this up. I see Rufus back there now.
Are you
a camera hound?
Yeah.
A camera hound.
Okay, what were you saying about that?
Let's see. Let me ask that again. I'll put a picture up for everybody to see here, too. You were in Halloween Havoc 92. You were acting like a reporter backstage, getting a scoop from the visiting Japanese dignitaries. And that was there was Chono, Matsuda, and Sasaki. in the back, and you were basically announcing that somebody was going to be a special guest referee. What they're asking, Tom is asking, is why were you as a reporter? Why a reporter? Was that a short-lived thing with you on NWA or WCW?
Yeah, that was just something that the writers just came up with, and just maybe for that particular pay-per-view, they just wanted to do that little skit. So that was nothing to be permanent.
Yeah, because I had to go back and actually try to see if I could find anything on it, because I don't actually recall that. It was that fast. I mean, to be honest, it was at the very beginning of that pay-per-view. Let's see. Paul in Florida asked, any stories or memories with the Road Warriors?
No, not really. They were just
you had some battles with them, though. I mean, look here, your team and their team. That was a battle for a while there, was it not?
Yeah, well, they worked with Butch and Ron with Doom.
Yeah.
We had a lot of great matches with them, man. A lot of great times, man. No really hardcore stories or nothing like that. No bad stories.
Was it as much as it seems like that? Hawk was more of the wild child and Animal was the quiet one.
Well, yeah, kind of. Me and Hawk was really close too. I remember one time me and him was riding together, and so we stopped we was coming by to Charlotte. We stopped to get gas, and so I went in the gas station, and I don't know what happened or something, but some guy come up to me wanting an autograph, something anyway. But me and the guy got into a little spat. So next thing I know, Hawk comes in, you know what I mean? And so, it ain't really bad. We just arguing a little bit. So I'm trying to walk on. And so Hawk comes in and he sees that me and this guy are arguing. So the next thing I know, Hawk knocks him out. So, so we got in the car and left.
Oh shit.
But Hawk was a good guy. He was a fun type guy, and at that time, I'm having fun too. So he was a great guy to hang out with.
Oh Lord. Okay, here we go. You're going to love this one, Teddy. Sandra in Tennessee has a pick one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. I like these. Obviously, they're paying attention here because they're mixing them up. All right, Here are your choices. The first set of choices are Dunkin' Donuts or Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme.
You're damn right. Burger King or McDonald's.
Burger King.
2 for 2, buddy. All right, here we go. Crystals or White Castle?
Well, they pretty much both the same.
They are. I don't know the difference other than just locations.
Yeah, and the name, that's about it.
Yep, and I eat White Castle quite a bit, even though I'm in the South, because it's in the supermarkets. They make good little sliders.
Brother, I hadn't had a White Castle in 10 years.
Look here, that was always the late night go-to food, brother. Get a sack full of White Castles or Crystals.
Oh, no.
All right, here's the last one they got for you, and this one is going to be an interesting one, and it's wrestling related. Attitude Era or Ruthless Aggression Era?
Attitude Era.
Now, Ruthless Aggression was more your time, though, was it not, as the SmackDown general manager? But the Attitude was just a whole different vibe, was it not?
Well, yeah, that was more me, but the Attitude Era rolled right on into Aggression. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it all just kind of came together.
Yeah, and I always kind of hated that, because I guess that was something that Vince liked to do. Did he like to change up each 10 years? He wanted to call it a whole new era or something? Because it seemed like he got away, we went from Attitude Era, which was great, into Ruthless Aggression. I was like, I didn't know we stopped doing Attitude Era yet, because it still feels like it, So,
yeah.
I hated when they did that, but I understood it. But so Attitude Era for you, even though you were the SmackDown general manager for SmackDown, you prefer the Attitude Era.
Yeah. And like I said, you're probably looking at the same thing. They just gave you another name.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Teddy, we've gone long, brother, and I appreciate you doing this. We just kind of got long-winded in the beginning, but I had questions I've always wanted to ask, so I appreciate you doing that. Everybody, don't forget, if you want to win a prize, and that prize being this card, $100 gift card. I'm trying to move it around enough so you can't get any kind of numbers off of it. But if you want a chance to win that $100 gift card, All you have to do is go down below, make sure you're subscribed, and write in the comment section, subscribed and shared. Those names will go into a hat. We'll draw the name next week and let you know who walks away with this $100 gift card from Road Trip After Hours. I'm Mac Davis. Yes, sir.
And remind them too, this is not the only $100 gift card we're going to be giving away. We're going to be giving away more of those and some more prizes too.
Oh, yeah, plenty of merch coming. You just got to be watching, I promise you. And then we have some wow prizes that are coming up that even Teddy doesn't know about. That's going to be a lot of fun. So you got to make sure you're subscribed. All right. I'm Mac Davis. That is Sergeant Rufus, somewhere down in the background there.
He's right here, man.
I knew he would be. And that is WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long.
See, look at it.
Y'all have a good one, everybody. We'll see you next week.
All right. Holla.